Some people hear the term and roll their eyes immediately. Others know what an incredibly real thing it is. Many people who seem successful are actually suffering from high functioning anxiety. And just because it's not a formally recognized diagnosis, it shouldn't be something you have to live with. By this point, you may already know that your anxiety pushes you forward instead of holding you back. While in certain circumstances this can be helpful, that doesn't mean it isn't without its lasting effects. To help you understand this condition, Psych2Go shares with you 5 facts you need to know about high functioning anxiety. 1. It's not easy to see. Oftentimes, someone with high functioning anxiety appears very driven and successful. Your anxiety makes you efficient. Your work is delivered on time. You arrive early and are immaculately dressed and even seem to have endless amounts of energy. But what people can't see is the crippling anxiousness that creates this drive for success. You can never appear unprepared. As a result, nobody thinks anything is wrong because you're performing at such a high level. 2. It causes intense stress. Often with high functioning anxiety, you feel stressed even when there's no reason to be. When your boss gives you a deadline, your brain immediately goes into overdrive, worrying about time management and what might go wrong to prevent you from completing it. Then, once you've turned it in, you're on to worrying about what if it's not good enough and questioning whether you are even right for this job. And then, because you actually did an excellent job, your boss assigns you to more tasks, but in your mind, this cycle just continues. What should bring you a great sense of accomplishment instead just continues to spiral the stress, and that is greatly debilitating. 3. It's impossible for you to say no. As mentioned before, you dread being asked to do something. Is it because saying no is something you just can't seem to do? People with high functioning anxiety tend to have impossibly high standards, which causes them to take on more than they can possibly handle. You struggle to say no to work projects, social plans, or helping a friend, even when you are already stretched to the breaking point. The problem is you are choosing the strain of exhaustion over the dread of letting someone down. 4. You have difficulty asking for help. When you're performing at high levels, you might not see that anything is wrong. Meanwhile, your external success is masking your internal stress, so you think there is no need to open up or ask for help. Sometimes, just having a chat with a friend or asking for assistance can greatly alleviate the built up tension inside. 5. It's very controlling. High functioning anxiety can control many aspects of your life without you even knowing it. It may cause you to create strict routines that you can't bear to deviate from. While these compulsive habits give you the illusion that you are in control of your life, missing a single workout or using the wrong color highlighter can send you into a panic. The result is that you and those around you are held captive by your routines. Finding ways to gently break these habits can actually help break apart the anxiety that has you confined. High functioning anxiety can be really difficult to live with, and if it's something you struggle with, it's best to talk to someone and get help. Do you have high functioning anxiety? What facts or advice could you share? Psych2Go would love to know. Be sure to leave a comment below. Thanks so much for watching.
All right, so I wanted you guys to get into some of the stuff that you deal with in the children and families section of the book. So we're doing chapters 13 and 14 to finish off these.
Quad boobs out of control. What if you try me? So much.
Commercials. So, American Sign Language is this next one. I wanted to.
time to cello tonight?
6.
Oh, God, you'll have to run in for Pippa's ballet at 5:30. I can't split myself in two.
Okay, chill. It's fine.
Sounds so weird and old people say chill.
Charming. What time's the help arriving?
Joanne is arriving at... Yup, it's time to go. Grab your bags, please. Oh, God, she's early. Oh, can you go to the door?
I'm leaving now. I'm already late.
Hey, I was about to knock. I'm Joanne.
Yes. Suzanne, she'll be done. Oh, thanks for helping us out. We have quite low expectations. We just want her to be a little bit more confident in time for school.
Right.
Anyway.
She has a hearing aid, but she won't wear it.
And I'm assuming there's no history of deafness on yours or your husband's side.
No. We only found out she was deaf when she was 3.5, which probably makes me a bloody awful mother, but because she had a bit of hearing in her left ear that was overcompensating, apparently that's common.
You're not an awful mother, it's very common. And you said she didn't qualify for a cochlear implant.
No, which was a real blow.
And what's her communication like? Does she know any sign language or is it just lip reading?
Just lip reading.
And her speech?
Not good.
Oh, well, I'll probably start with a combination of speech and sign language just to see where she's at. A lot of children respond really well to sign because it's less frustrating.
I can't see that being the case. Libby follows what we're saying really well.
Right, well, I'm sure she'll be fine then.
Stop, you idiot! I'm on the phone. Okay, so make yourself at home, sit down if you like. Liz, there's someone here to see you. Libby, can I go out? Libby. Libby, can I go? She's usually happy when she's watching TV. She can be very difficult. I mean, sometimes we don't even know what's wrong with her.
Is there any pattern to that happening?
Oh, no. You know what they're like at this age. All of the two are the same.
Well, my exam starts in 25 minutes.
Yes, I'm coming. Sam's got his GCSEs. He got 8 stars in his marks, so I can't make him late. Right, you got my mobile number? I'll be back in a few hours to see how you got on. You've been brilliant. Bye, Libby, darling.
So if you came in now, the family has hired this girl to help them with sign language with their daughter who's silent. Some of the family struggles.
How's it been?
Yeah, good. I told you she was quiet.
Yeah, does she ever interact?
Yeah, she follows what we say really well. Trust me, when Libby's unhappy, you know about it.
Yeah, I think I'll just try with some more interactive stuff. I've got quite a few books I think would be useful. There is actually one
Hello?
here.
Yeah, I've literally just walked in the door. Can I call you back in 5 minutes? Yeah, tomorrow. I said, yeah. 8:30, yeah? Okay, don't worry. Sorry, that was Paul's mum. She's a bloody nuisance.
Oh, it's fine. I'll just bring some stuff to try on tomorrow. Does she like the park?
Well, I haven't taken her since she was tiny, but she loves it.
Yeah, saw it. Great.
Yeah, thanks, Joanne.
Okay, bye.
You were ringing?
Little Libby.
She's inside with Sue. She's in a good mood. Libby, I mean. Sue's never in a good mood.
Oh, hey, Libby. Oh, sorry, the door was open.
Looks like you can have a busy day. I'm so sorry, I've got to shoot off again. I've got to take Paul's mum to the hospital.
Oh, no worries.
Bye, Libs. You be good. See you later.
Thank you. Right. Let's pack it up. Where's your bag? Let's get you some orange juice then.
Just how she'll get on with the sign language at school?
How do you mean?
Well, I'm not sure that many people know it.
Well, she'd need to have an interpreter sat with her and extra support. And, well, I'm not trying to talk myself into a job, but I'd be more than happy to help.
Right, okay. I'm just wondering if we should be focusing more on the lip reading rather than the sign language.
Well, as it stands at the moment, she's in a struggle with speech, so a combination of sign language and lip reading will have the best results. Like, I know it can feel a bit alien, but the basics are actually really easy to learn. Might be a nice thing to do as a family.
I'm just not sure how doable that is at the moment. Pip has ballet and Seb rehearses with the Midland Choir 3 times a week, but we'll chat about it tomorrow. I'll talk to Paul.
Okay, great.
Right.
Thanks, Seb.
Creamy milk chocolate, crunchy.
All right, so you see the challenges that some of the families deal with just getting an interpreter, similar if you have English as a second language, and just finding somebody to help you through school. So we're halfway through, and then I'll do the PowerPoint on chapter 13.
Dad, can you pass me your jacket?
Oh, Sue, don't forget that letter, will you?
Did you ever find your leather jacket?
Yes, it's in the office.
She's signing.
She's probably hungry. Can you pass me that about her, sir?
I think it means orange juice. Joe told me some stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, Joe's doing a good job.
You know, however many hairstyles you try, she's not going to go out with them.
Oh, talk of the devil.
Quick, someone give me some hair wax.
Morning.
Hello, hello. Joe, what do you think of Seb's hair? It's cool.
Right, it's time to go.
What is it, Liz? What's she saying? Television? No.
No, I think she wants to look for treasure, so I'll sort that out.
Get him a basket. Seb, can you bring my briefcase, please?
Thank you. Right, so I'm on the bloody hospital run again with Paul's mum today. I think I mentioned last night. I think a bit later on tonight, more like 6.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, lots of fun.
Bye, Libby. Back again, sorry, never leave. I forgot my bloody purse.
Hi, I'm Joanne. I look after Livy.
Well, hello, darling. Is she being good for you?
Livy, yeah, she's great. She's so bright.
Is she? Do you think she'll be able to get a job one day?
Yeah, I think she'll be able to have a career in whatever she likes.
Oh, God bless her. Her granddad was deaf in her from birth. He had a job as a cleaner. I knew him.
Really? Livy's granddad?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, do you mean Paul's dad or Sue's dad?
Neither, darling. She's not Paul's, you know. I told him he should have left. He never listened to his mother.
Oh, right, well, it was really nice to meet you.
You too, dear. All right, then?
Yeah.
Couldn't find it.
I know that she's French, but I'm worried. She's learning this language that I don't know, and no one in the school wants her. When you have a child, you want them to be normal, you want them to be perfect.
She is normal, Sue. She's just deaf.
Look, I know it's your area of expertise, but you must understand that I'm Libby's mother, and I know what's best for her.
It's just the schools don't always understand deafness. You have to fight for the support sometimes, but it is out there.
I know what I'm doing, Joe. You must understand I've been a mother for a very long time, and I do appreciate your concern, and Paul and I will arrange to go and see the head. I mean, do you think we'd send her to school without making sure everything was in place for her?
Hello.
Hello, Joanne. You okay?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm on the bike. Is everything okay?
It's just, sorry, this is a difficult thing to say, but Paul and I have been talking, and we think it's best that Liv stops the sign language.
Why?
We think that speech therapy is
It's a better route to take. I'm really sorry.
I don't understand. She was doing so well.
I know.
For school, it's really important she carries on with sign language and gets extra support.
We've talked a lot about this, Joe, and we've actually been in to see the head, and
They had a little deaf one years ago. It's absolutely fine. You know what they're doing.
Look, I'm nearly here now. Can I explain it to her? She'll wonder where I am.
Okay, class, open your books, write the date at the top, and we'll start the spelling test. Number 1, there. Number 2, here.
So 90% of deaf children are born to hearing parents. 78% of deaf children attend the mainstream schools. It's not a learning difficulty. With the right support, a deaf child can do everything. I hope the film contributes for sign language. And I wanted to start out with this one mainly because you get a lot of the same challenges that you find in social work. And when working with children and families, we get some of these. You have to have consent to work with a family, and that does make it a bit of a challenge.
Out here, there's no short.
Anxiety. Some people hear the term.
Sign language is used throughout the film, essential to turn subtitles for language now. So as you saw, she kind of taught them how to communicate. And, it's not a case like in social work where it's a demand on the family. It's a little bit different because the family chose not to let her in. So in chapter 13, we get into child maltreatment. That's the only way to force a social worker in. Luckily, we do have more IEPs, like individualized education plans, and things for children that are helpful that we don't get to see a lot of. And that comes up along with the family-centered services. So some of the issues are domestic violence, poverty, addiction, family structures, stress, and then communication patterns. So that's sign language falls on the bottom with the communication. The historical perspective, you've got the legal definition of child maltreatment, types of child abuse and neglect, incidents of child maltreatment, and then contributing factors, psychological effects, and even sexual abuse. We covered some of these with ACEs, the adverse childhood experience. And you can see some of the things that came up in that film. So there is a lot of child welfare legislation. They're kind of pushing the Child Abuse and Prevention and Treatment Act, the Indian Child Welfare Act, Adoption Assistance and Child Welfare Act, and then Child Abuse and Treatment Act amendments. So some of those come up. Few more recent ones are on these two slides. So Omnibus Reconciliation Act, and as social workers in child and family services, a lot of times you're aiming for reconciliation because the family's going to want to see the kid's going to want to see the family. When not, there's Adoption and Safe Families Act for foster care and independence, the Foster Care and Independence Act, and then Promoting Safe and Stable Families. We have some child welfare legislation, so Keeping Children and Families Safe Act, Fostering Connections to Success, and Increasing Adoptions Act. And then as recent as 2010, the reauthorization. You can see here, and I'll make it bigger, kind of how it went through legislation. So since the 70s, there's been a lot that has made it through. And from adoption and assistance to safe families, foster care independence, that even helps pay for colleges, and then promoting safe and stable families. And you've got the child welfare delivery system. So primary prevention, family preservation, daycare, family group conferencing, foster care when needed, and then even residential services. That's one I've worked in quite a few times that have made it challenging for folks. And here's the pathway they try to see if a child has to get placed. So like if there's report, then situation does not meet the definition of child maltreatment. It could do like a quick family assessment. If it is child maltreatment, they go to Child Protective Service investigates. If they pass the assessment, then the case is closed. However, if there is child maltreatment, high risk of family abuse, you could have a court petition that could be filed. And child, if need be, is placed, or if they can minimize the risk, the case is closed. And so that's kind of the flow through all of those challenges that come up. Then some family services to support families. It does have a right to raise their children. And then in terms of saving them, children have a right to develop a healthy family environment. So they're balancing these two things to supplement parental roles, home-based services, counseling, parent education, and even respite care. I also have parent aids like a homemaker services, daycare, and protective services and income maintenance. And some of the other ways social workers enter in to the family is school. And you saw that at the end of the short film where she was trying to at least say goodbye to her clients. And that's challenging. The family doesn't want the social worker there. There's nothing you can do when it's a voluntary service. Now, if it's court mandated, that's different. So they provide supportive services for children and families in the context of school settings, provide linkage between the school, home, and community. Some examples are like assessment of children with special education needs. So again, that deafness would fall under there. Early developmental screening, support for developmental transitions, and some services for adolescents, which is, from all of the teenage years combined. So at 13 and 19, you've got teen pregnancy, adolescent suicide, runaway youth, and eating disorders. And then resiliency in adolescence. So you've got social competence, problem-solving skills, autonomy, sense of purpose and future, and then school climate of high expectations and community support. So that's where we as social workers come in with the community support. I wanted to get through that before the break for you guys, but kind of wish you well on your break. If you have questions about your last papers or the final, or if you still have to do your presentation, I've opened everything so you can do them. Do not skip any assignments. You have the chance to do them all. We still have a good 10 days on break, and then 10 days when we get back, and then finals. So check in with me if you need help with anything, and then have a good Thanksgiving. So we'll see you then.